Can you explain Ephesians 6:18 through 20? Does this mean to pray in tongues? Our church usually uses this verse to encourage people to pray in tongues. If so, worship in spirit and in truth would also mean singing in tongues. Ephesians 6:18 through 20 is not the best connection you want to use for talking about speaking in tongues versus singing in tongues. Now, let's not get this confused with the words of Jesus, where he does say, a time is coming when people will worship God in spirit and in truth. There he's talking about the Holy Spirit. He's not talking about, at least not specifically about tongues in that case. Now, what you want to look at is actually 1 Corinthians chapter 14. The first portion of that entire chapter, he's talking about tongues, but he's also talking about how prophesying is actually better because you're speaking things that people will understand. It's much better to do that because if there's no interpretation, then your tongues isn't helping anybody but you. But if we pick up in verse 13, it says, "Therefore, one who speaks in a tongue should pray that he may interpret. For if I pray in a tongue, my spirit prays, but my mind is unfruitful. What am I to do? I will pray with my spirit, but I will pray with my mind also. I will sing praise with my spirit, but I will sing with my mind also." This whole paragraph is set up by verse 12, where he indicates he knows that they are eager for manifestations of the Spirit. They want to see the Spirit in operation, and that's why they like to do tongues, because it's pretty cool that God is speaking a language you don't know through your mouth. When he says singing or praying in the Spirit, he is specifically speaking about tongues in this passage. Most people don't realize that you can sing in tongues, and I know because I've done it. And it's a beautiful experience. And before you wonder if I'm just making things up, I've had people come and confirm to me that I was speaking their native language. So for those who have a problem believing in tongues, and believe me, I understand because there are a lot of fakers out there. They annoy me too. But it's not just about breaking down communication barriers. Because if that was the case, then why would Paul bother singing in the Spirit? What barriers does he need to break if all he's doing is worshiping God? Preaching and teaching and speaking the words of God are for others. But singing, that's always a direct line between us and the Father.